Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to What's New webinar. My name is Andrea. I'm product marketing manager for Houzz Pro. My mission today is to actually show you some of the improvements that we've been working on for the past quarter. So the goal is to actually see, new improvements per features, small or big details that we have added. So we are here for 30 to 40 minutes together, and feel free to ask any question in the chat. So let's get started. I'm just going to share my screen, and there you go. All right, so we are in the interface. So once again, it's a way to show also the new feature that are being added into Houzz Pro. So if you're new to the platform, it's not like a full-on demo. It's just like bits and pieces of things that we have developed. So if you are completely new, you may feel a little bit lost, but you normally have like an onboarding with an onboarding specialist as well. So this is where we're going to cover the full use of Houzz Pro, but this session is just regarding new things that we're launching. All right, so the first thing that I wanted to show you is regarding the different documents and especially the contracts. So one of the features that we have added into contracts, so if you want to access any contract, let's go in here. And then you go into planning, and then you go into contract, is basically the ability to add a logo into your contract and also to be able to send your contract to different type of stakeholders. So I'm just going to start a new contract from a template. And then in here, you will have the ability to add a recipient that is either the client, the supplier, or the subcontractor. So let's say you're working on a specific type of project, you're creating contract for your subs and also for your client. This is where you can actually differentiate whether you're sending a contract for your client or for your sub. So for instance, in here, I'm just going to select the subcontractor JP Electrical, and then I'll be able to retrieve their information. So basically, that's one of the first things that we have added. And once you have the contract in here, it's adjust to the different addresses that you have, added to the contract. And also in here, you can retrieve the information of the subcontractors, the full name, phone number, email, company name, and so on. So it's an easier way to actually, differentiate the contract that you're sending to your clients versus a contract that you're sending to your suppliers and your subs. And then exactly the same way that we are normally performing in here, you can add the email address of your subs. And then after you can send that, and they will be receiving the contract via email, and it also will be in the subcontractor dashboard. So that's one of the first thing that comes. Then in the contract, you're also able to add a little bit more about your information. I was mentioning the logos. So in here, you have the ability to add an image, and so basically insert your logo. So if you want to be able to insert one of your logo into your contract, this is where you can do that. And then, yes, you can also delete it if you want. And here I can just remove it. So basically, this is where you can create your contract. And there is also something new that we have implemented. Maybe you haven't seen it already. But so basically, if you want to add any boxes and boxes that can be ticked by your client, you would go to bulleted lists. In here. And then you have that checkbox there. So you can change, any type of element to a checkbox. Okay, I don't know why it's not working. Sorry, I'm just going to refresh it quickly. I think it might have frozen. And then in here, let's start again. Yes, this is where you can add those tickable boxes. So basically in here, you can tick them, but your client or your subs can also tick them. So if you are providing different type of services and that your clients need to select those services within the contract, they can also tick those boxes. And whenever you're sending that to your client, you can preview and then send it. And here you can select allow recipients to select checkboxes, and that will be done. So that's a way of functioning, basically. So that's for the contract. Is there any question in the chat regarding that specific feature? Nope, I don't see any questions. So let's continue. We also added the ability to create a contract on the lead stage, right? So that's directly coming from your feedback. We have received feedback from our users that they wanted to have the ability to create the contract at the lead stage, which makes sense, right? You're kind of, packing the service that you want to send before your client is actually signing the contract with you. So at the lead stage, just like we're able to do it at the project stage, at the lead stage, you're able to also create a contract. And so whenever you're creating a new contract, the client signs it, it will be carried over once you convert it to a project, it will be carried over into the project directly. So that's also a good way to also structure your sales pipeline. In the past, contract was not available within the lead stage. So obviously, if you wanted to create a contract, you would have to convert your lead into a project, even if it was not necessarily a real project, but still at the lead stage. So now you're able to do it. So we hope that it's going to actually, solve some of the pain points of, handling the leads in the lead part. All right, we have also a new exciting project. So I'm just going to go back to one of the projects. And on the estimate bit, on proposal bits, you are able to create a new estimate through AI. So basically, whenever you're wanting to create a new estimate, you click on Create with AI. And then you will have a box where you can actually enter a prompt. So I'm just going to quickly copy and paste the prompt that I've prepared. So that's it. So I'm just going to add, I'm going to ask the system to create a cost estimate for kitchen renovation with around 215 square feet. And I'm going to ask to generate items with AI. So obviously, AI is a lever to, kind of power up your estimating process. Obviously, it might change according to your specific business, according to your price, according to whatever you're picturing within your service. But it's also a way to kind of like have access to the first bits and pieces of your estimates. So in here, you see AI has created that estimate. And so you have several categories: demolition, plumbing, electrical, plasterboard, painting. And so basically it took, like the units. So for me, it was the 20 square meter. And then after it applied some prices, but of course, subject to changes and to whatever you want to add in or take out from your estimates. So it can be actually a good way to start, kind of like having a rough number of, like the cost of a specific project. And obviously in here, if you want to add any other item, you can click on Automate AI in here, and then you're able to, add any other item that might seem relevant for you. And there, it's also, an AI that we have developed in-house. So if you're happy with that, don't forget to press the thumbs up. So our system and especially our engineers will see if the system is not working well. And if it's not, and if you feel like they are, like it's AI, so obviously we need to train the intelligence, which we are currently doing. But if you think that there are some stuff missing, or if the prices are not correct, feel free to press in there and add additional feedback, because for us it helps also train the process. So that's for creating an estimator proposal through AI. Any questions so far? All right. No, I don't think that there are any questions. So that was for the document parts, right? So we have covered contract. We have seen that now you're able to use AI to create and power up some estimates or proposal. And now we are going to move to a more design oriented type of new features. So I'm just going to quickly access one of our floor plan to show you some of the new stuff that we have been working on. I'm just going to go here. All right. So one of the first thing that we've added within the floor plan is within the material and finishes. I'm just going to quickly take an example. So you probably are aware already, but we have added a lot of new materials in here. So you're able to retrieve some of the materials like, outdoor landscaping, flooring, ceilings, interiors or exterior walls, and so on. And so I think we have more than 218 texture, or material, but we may have added a little bit more, but we keep adding them. And if you go to wall interiors, for instance, in shiplap, whenever you have a texture that has that little triangle, it means that the paint is customizable, right? So if you want to add any shiplap there, you're able to change the rotation. So I'm just gonna change the rotation and select, like the color. So I'm just gonna select a brown color, for instance. There you go. And so you will have those shiplaps that are customized to your needs. And if you want to change them, you can also customize in here. And then this is where you're gonna get the customization. So for every texture that has that little colorful triangle, this is where you can actually change the color. Another thing that we've added is the ability to add moldings within your walls. So basically, whenever you're selecting a wall, so I'm just gonna quickly select this wall, for instance. I'm just gonna move around. There you go. So you have a good angle. So I'm just gonna select one wall. I'm pressing Shift to select multiple wall in here. So I have those 3 walls selected. In the floor plan, you're able to add the molding parts. So if you click that, you can add a crown molding, picture rail, chair rail, or skirting board molding. So I'm gonna add a crown molding. And in here, you select the type of molding that you have. So obviously this is the profile view, right? So I'm just gonna go with this one. And in there, you can also select the material. So just so you're able to see it a little bit more, I'm just gonna select beautiful color that absolutely doesn't fit the floor plan, I'm sorry. And then you have the crown molding here. So it's a way to add up finishes, and same thing, you can either select, like those walls, and then you can add another molding. So I'm just gonna go with the skirting. Same thing in here, I can adjust the height as well. So if it's 9 centimeter, then I can add it. I can select a material. So it doesn't have to be paint, by the way, it can be any material that you have here. So let's go with concrete. You'll see how it looks like. And then you have those molding that have been added. So it adds up a nice finishing touch to your design. It's fairly easy to use. So once again, you just have to select the walls. You press Shift to select multiple walls, and then you add the molding part in here. So that's for the molding part of a 3D floor plan. And then one last thing that we have added is the ability to add beams within your floor plan. So basically, within the structure element in here, you have beams that are here. So I'm just going to go in a 2D mode. It will be easier. And then I can add different type of beams here. So we have beam flange, rectangular, rounded, or trim. So I'm just going to go with a rectangular one. And then in here, you can add your beam. And for instance, the wall in here is 5.81. So I'm just going to add up the dimension. And then I have my beam here, and I can basically play around and select the material. So for instance, if I want to have this type of beam, then you can add it in here. And then you can duplicate. So same thing, if you want to add multiple, you can also duplicate multiple items. So you can select them too with a shift, right? So I selected a first beam and then the second one pressing shift. And then I go and duplicate. So I don't have to do it every single time. Same thing for that. I'm just going to select those 4 and then press duplicate. So I have 8 beams that I can add up to my floor plan. It's a lot of beam, right? But there you go. So same things. It's added up a nice finishing touch as well to your interior. So you can obviously, change the rotation in here if you want. You can adjust the distance from the floor. You can adjust the depth and the height, and change the material according to your client's needs. So that's one of the things that we have added to the 3D floor plan. Once again, I just want to remind you that you're able also to convert your product into 3D. If you're new to those sessions, I think it's a very valuable, new feature that we have added. I think I've mentioned it last time. But so basically, whenever you're, having a product that you have saved through the clipper, and this is going to be my next thing that I wanted to show you. But so basically, this is where you have access to your product library. So if you want to convert anything, let's say I'm just going to want to convert that images that I've saved into my library into a 3D product, I'd be able to add a mask. So basically in here, I'm telling the system what it looks like. So I'm just clicking I'm just clicking on the product. So the system recognizes what it looks like, and then I can ask to generate a product. And once it's done, I can go to the need review parts. Okay, there are no product converted in here. Okay, this one, it's exactly what I've done. And then you see you have your own elements that comes from an image. So it's really like a way of having like a 2D product converted into a 3D render. So if you're struggling, finding the right product, you can always use this specific feature to convert any items into 3D mode. So it takes up a little time. Once again, it's us using AI to convert that. So it takes the system 2 to 3 minutes to generate the product, and then you are able to review it, add the dimension. Maybe I'll go back a little bit after this, so I can show you how we can do that. Any questions so far? Nope, I don't think so. Flora is, on top of things, so she's answering. Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. One thing that I also wanted to show you, and it's also, linked to AI. So this is rolling out. So right now we are rolling out at 70%, meaning 70% of our users actually have access to that feature, but I felt like it was a good thing to show you. At the end of that call, if you don't have the access to that specific feature, please write me an email. Flora, if you can write my email address in the chat, that would be awesome. So if you don't have access to that feature, I can ask that you are added to the group of people who has access to that specific feature. But basically, it's the AI version of the clipper. So I'm just going to share my screen in here, just checking if you see. So in any website, so the clipper, if you haven't used it, is a great way to be able to source your product and to retrieve all the information. And right now we have added an AI module that helps you retrieve those information automatically. So so it's a Chrome extension, right? So you're using on Chrome only, and you have that little house. And then you can add automate smart sourcing, and then it will autofill the information for you. So basically, it's a way to avoid like copying and pasting or just highlighting all the elements. So in here, I can, save up the information there about the product. So I can select up, like the different images that are linked to the product, up to 5. Then I can clip it. Then you have the product title, the costs, the VAT, you have to, put it yourself. Then the client description, and then you can add categories. So for instance, chair, you can create that category. And then once you create the category, AI will also understand which item are going into which category, and they will be able to also retrieve that category automatically. So it's a great way to get started. So if you are any missing field, then you fill it in. But then, it saves up the manufacturer, the SKU number, dimension, and so on. And then you can save it to Houzz Pro. So it's really automatic. In the past, you were supposed to, highlight, and then, okay, that's the product title, and then I'm highlighting, and that's the cost. So now it does that automatically. And then if you don't want AI to be working for you, let's go into bookcases. We'll see. So same thing. I'm just gonna, in here, I don't want AI to autofill the product info for me. If you want to disable that, you can disable automate sourcing in here. And so you go back to manual input of the information, product title, cost, and so on. So that's one thing that we have developed that we are super happy about, because obviously it saves up so much time. So you don't have to click and spend probably 30 seconds into entering the information. Right now, if you're enabling, then it will retrieve all the information, and in 5 seconds, you'll have all the information that you're looking for. So it's much easier, obviously. And yeah, basically clip it and save it. And then after, you find it back into your library. So that's super easy. And then in here, obviously, you can see view your library. So Sasha, if it's not working for you, it means that the treatment is probably not in place, because as I mentioned, it's 70% of our users have access to it. So feel free to drop me an email at andrea.blandducollet@houzz.com. It's in the chat, because obviously I said it in French. And so I'll ask that you're added to the treatment, so you'll be able to access it. So that's for the clipper. Okay, some of the things that I also wanted to show you is basically the ability to access all of your daily logs within Houzz Pro. So hold on. I'm just going to go into, so whenever you're going into that search button, right? So you know how Houzz is structured. So basically we have all of the projects, all of the leads, but sometimes you need to be able to access some of the documents, all projects together. And basically it's through the search button. So in here, you see you can have access to all the contracts that you have sent or that are drafted for every project, every leads, all estimate, and so on. And now you have also, you are now also able to see all of your daily logs. So basically, it's your daily log dashboard. So whenever you are creating a new daily log for any type of project, you will find them here. And so basically, you're able to see the creation date, with whom it was shared, who is the author, and the project. So basically, if you want to have like a better understanding of, tracking the daily logs that your team has entered or that your field crew has entered, this is where you can do that. Same thing for, like all the contract, the bids. So basically, if you don't know that feature, I think it's quite powerful. But basically, if you go to the search button in here, you'll find all the information based on the specific type of documents that you're looking for. So contract, estimate, takeoff, mood boards, flow plan, you name it. So in here, it's really like a dashboard that allows you to access the information quite easily. And then once you click on view more, then you will be able to access that specific daily log and edit it if needed. So that's one of the things that we have added as well quite recently. Any questions so far? Nope. Don't think that there are too many questions. Can you export daily logs, Angela? That's a good question. Right now, it's not possible. So you're able to share it, but you're not able to export it per se. But we are working into that direction as well. So I know in France, probably is same in the UK, but for insurance purposes, it's important that we have it shared. So it's definitely in our roadmap. So hopefully next quarter when we meet again, we'll be able to export that. But we are well aware that. We need to have that implemented, Angela. So working into that direction. All right. If you go into selection boards in here, you are basically, I'm just going to quickly go to my selection boards. And in here, if I want to download it as a PDF, now I can also choose the different settings in which I want to download the PDF. So for instance, in there, I can choose the format, so tabloid, letter, or A4. I can select the page numbers or no. I can also add cover information regarding the company, the client information, or cover image if I want it. And then I can also choose if I want to display the item title, the price, the quantity. So it's a way to actually, being able, if you're not sharing your selection board through a link and that you want to have it downloaded for your client to see whenever you're going to see them, and that they prefer having, a paper to make a decision, this is where you can actually do that, and then you can download it. So basically, you go to that little arrow here, and then you can download as a PDF, and this is where you select the information that you want to display. So that's also something new that we have been creating. Sorry. So yes, that's one of the the action that we have. And let me see something. Sorry. Keeps moving. And in here, if you're selecting multiple items, you can, in those items, publish to dashboard. So you can publish 3 dashboards to the client dashboard. And soon enough, probably by the next month or so, you will be able to bulk export to PDF. So if you have multiple selection board that you want to download as a PDF and that you don't want to do it manually, going to every selection boards, download it as a PDF and then move to the next one, this is where you'll be able to do that. So that feature is going to come up also in a couple of weeks normally. So that's pretty much what I wanted to show you today. Do you have any questions before I let you go? So basically, it's really like a way to it's kind of disconnected the way that we're showing those new features, because obviously there are improvements in several different areas. If you have any issues, obviously you can always fill a request on submit a support ticket. So you go in here and then you can ask any question, and we have a support team that will be able to answer you. And then we also have those sessions that are planned regularly. Also, quick information, I'll be at Decorex this year in London. If you're there, I'll be more than happy to meet with you. It's also a great way for me to meet our clients in the UK. It will be a great way also to understand like how are you using Houzz Pro, and like if you have any feedback that you want to share, and if you're there, I'll be more than happy to see you. I'll be there on Tuesday and Wednesday. So I think it's the 13th and the 14th of October. All right. Angela, you are at Decorex. Awesome. But yes, so basically, we also have a full day training on November 21st. So that will be a great way, like if you're new to the tool, or even if you're not new to the software, but you want to, like deepen your knowledge of Houzz Pro, this is a great way to join us. And it's also a great way to network, meet some of the, the professionals in our industry. So you can definitely reach out, and it's an in-person training event in London. So can they have, yes, Flora is asking if you have access to the recording. Yes, you will have access to the recording. We'll be sending that over to you just after we finish that call. So you can go back to the information that I've shared with you. All right. If you don't have any other question, then I will let you go. Thank you so much for joining us today. Sorry for the beginning with my dog barking. I think the Amazon delivery guy was trying to deliver something, but it will wait for tomorrow. Thank you so much. I wish you a great day. I hope that I will see you at Decorex. Super excited. It's my first one that I'm attending this year. So I'm more than happy to meet our UK pros. So feel free to drop by and just say hi, and we'll have a little cup of tea together. Thank you so much and have a great day.